The only way I learned about sex is like my mom, before I left for a party, she's like, Neema, like, in دخترها خرابن, دست نزن. Now it's like every time I kiss them, or like, you know, I'm being romantic with someone, all I hear in the back of my head is my mom's voice. It's ridiculous. Try to keep it together here. So everything I'm wearing is, I haven't paid for anything. Maybe it might be a little delusional, but it's like, you know, you have to have a little delusion sometimes for things to work out. You know, the validation you get from the fans and people, that's what moves me. At 30, it's like, you know, why am I still anxious about touching a girl? Like, or it's like, what is gonna happen?
Well, hi there. Welcome to episode 375 of Roqe. I'm Jian Ghomeshi. It's the start of Pride Month here, but in the Islamic Republic, only fear. It's June, the month when joy spills into the streets, when parades bloom in rainbow color, and when love, in all its beautiful forms, dares to take the spotlight. But not everywhere, because while some dance in celebration, others don't dare, because in the Islamic Republic, many are forced to live in silence, not the peaceful kind, but the punished kind, not the meditative set, but the kind of quiet that comes with a threat. It's the start of Pride Month here, but in the Islamic Republic, only fear. In cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, Pride is a party with corporate floats and celebrity allies and rainbow everything at the corner store. But in Tehran, Isfahan, or Mashhad, being seen, just seen, as LGBTQ can mean prison, public lashing, or worse. One world gets confetti, the other gets catastrophe. To be queer in the Islamic Republic isn't just hard, it's illegal, it's dangerous, it's lonely, it's invisible. And no, this isn't about the trending buzzwords or performative outrage of the moment. This isn't about hashtags or ideological tribes. This is about, say, a kid in Shiraz who's terrified their truth might slip out. This is about love as liability, desire as danger, and existence as resistance. It's the start of Pride Month here, but in the Islamic Republic, only fear. Look, we can and should support LGBTQ rights without signing up for every so-called woke trope of the day. We don't need a culture war to stand for basic dignity. You don't need to wave a flag to believe in freedom. Hey, you don't need to pick a side to know everyone deserves pride. This is not about politics. It's about people. Not about slogans, but basic survival. Because who someone loves or is should never be grounds for persecution. It's the start of Pride Month here, but in the Islamic Republic, only fear. And so as the balloons fly and the colors shine around the world, maybe we can remember those who are still hiding, still hurting, still hoping. We might also remember that Pride began as protest. And for too many Iranians, the protest isn't past, it's present, burning quietly, waiting patiently for a day when being yourself doesn't have to be an act of courage. It can just be an act of being. The Western Pride celebrations are due, and to those fighting to be themselves in the Islamic Republic, this one's for you. It's June 5, 2025. This is Roqe. Welcome to episode 375 of Roqe. I'm Jian Ghomeshi. Hello to you from Toronto. Hello to you from Canada. Salam dostan aziz, durud bar shoma. Hope you are doing well wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Today on the show, one of our favorites returns for an in-studio interview in the middle of his massive, gigantic, humongous world tour. The very funny and real Iranian-Canadian comedian and social media star Neiman Nause joins us. Always good to have him here. And now after his major endorsement by Drake, he is hitting new levels of success. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Neema will be with us here. We look forward to it. A feature interview with Neema Naz in the studio coming right up. Also, Last week we had the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi here, right here in the studio for a 75-minute wide-ranging interview, one of his first ever in-studio sit-downs of his kind in Canada. I guess he hasn't done this at all before. And it's already become our third most viewed and listened to episode ever. So it's been a week. Thank you to all of you who've left comments and feedback of every stripe on this interview. If you've not seen it yet, you can find it on any of our platforms, which you can access from our website, which is the hub of all things Roqe related, roqemedia.com. So for the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi interview in its entirety, we actually did not edit this interview. It is an unedited interview left for you to decide all that you wish, both audio and video. You can find it at roqemedia.com. It was a great pleasure to have him here in the studio. We thank him and his team for making that happen. I should also note that when you're at our site, roqemedia.com, you can support us by pressing the Support Us button. Or if you are on any of our platforms, you can subscribe for free, and we encourage you to do so. Last Friday, we had a very special edition of Ideas at the Roqe Hub. That is our event series that takes place here in the Roqe extended space, this time with Milad Taherzadeh as our guest. He is the popular Iranian makeup artist and hairstylist who works with the stars of the global Iranian community, but who has an incredibly harrowing, difficult story of his life growing up in Mashhad and entering the career he did, and his LGBTQ background. We will be giving you that highlights from it in an upcoming episode of Roqe, so stay tuned for that. Thanks to all those who attended it live here. It was another great night as part of our events at the Roqe Hub series. If you want to see who else is coming up, we have a book launch actually a week from tomorrow, so Friday, June 13th, with Captain Behnam, the hero of that United Airlines flight where he saved over 300 passengers. He's got his new book, and he's doing the Canadian launch here at the Roqe Hub next Friday, June 13th. Look for details on that. Go to our Instagram, and you can find details on that at Roqe Media. We look forward to having you here potentially for that, or you can listen to it later on in the show. All right, let's get to our feature interview of the day. Today's episode of Roqe is brought to you with the support of Innovanguard. Innovanguard is a Canadian innovation consultancy founded by Babak Khodaparast, a seasoned entrepreneur and inventor. The company specializes in supporting startups and inventors by offering services such as product development, business incubation, patent management, and assistance with Canada's Startup Visa program. Babak serves as the CEO and founder of Innovanguard. He's also the president of the First Institute of Canadian Inventors and the Canadian branch of the International Federation of Inventors Associations. An accomplished innovator, Babak began his journey at the age of 16, earning 11 international awards for his inventions. He has since played a pivotal role in transforming over 100 ideas into successful national and international businesses. Thank you to Innovanguard. All right, let's get to our feature interview. He's been on the program before, not once, but twice, and each time he's brought the humor, the heart, a little bit of that beautiful chaos that makes him unmistakably Neema. But a lot has changed since the last time he sat in our studio. In fact, it's fair to say that his life, his career, has taken a dramatic turn. He's still the same Iranian-Canadian kid from Toronto with a sharp tongue and a relentless drive, but now he's on a global stage with receipts. Last year, in a moment that only the digital age could deliver, Neema got a cosign that most up-and-coming performers would only dream of from none other than Drake. Yes, that Drake, the Grammy-winning megastar, the Toronto icon, the most streamed artist in the world. And when Drake reposted one of Neema's comedy sketches, an impression no less, everything changed. Neema went viral, international doors open, new followers, new bookings, new status. The trenches he'd been grinding in for years had finally led to a breakthrough. And now Neema is on a world tour, literally, from Canada to the US, London to Sydney, packed nights in cities across Europe. He's taking his observational comedy, his Persian flair, his uncanny impressions to a global audience hungry for his brand of laughter. This is a guy who built his career on persistence, TikTok by TikTok, gig by gig, laugh by laugh. But beyond the virality, there's depth. A thoughtful artist who's been developing his craft and paying his dues, you might say, for a decade. So today isn't just a reunion with an old friend of the show. It's a snapshot of a moment, you might say, a moment when someone we know, someone who's worked damn hard, steps into the international spotlight. Neema Naz joins me in the Roqe studio right now. Hello, sir.
What an intro. Wow.
Should we stop now?
Yeah.
It's gone so well up until this point.
You can't get any better than that.
The intro for you.
Yeah, see you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
It's such a, you're doing so well that you require two mugs on the desk of different liquids.
Yeah.
You have your, what's that, coffee?
Coffee.
And hot water.
And hot water, not by choice, might I add.
We thought, we realized that I usually drink hot water, and so the staff, it was Paris Artina brought you hot water as well in solidarity in case you need hot water.
Hey, I appreciate the sentiment. It's I'm all for solidarity.
Yes.
I've never heard of this before, though.
You've never heard of hot water?
No.
What
Just
do you mean?
Room temperature water.
Hello. It can be calming. It's good for the throat.
Yeah.
You were saying you had a tickle in your throat.
Well, I don't have a tickle. I just feel like my voice has just been
Dalgun.
Dalgun. Yeah, exactly. Just I've yapped a lot this past few weeks. I've performed a lot too, and so
you are kind of I should say you're somewhat mid-tour. I mean, the tour goes on for a year or something, but this is like a week of respite in between dates, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just came off of a 3-week road trip out west in BC, Alberta. Went across the border for a couple shows, Seattle, Stanford, and whatnot. And yeah, that was a good run. But it's nice to be home. But yeah, we were on the road pretty much every day for those 3 weeks. And yeah.
And what are you doing for your few days here besides coming to our studio? Are you
to the prestigious Roqe?
Are there spa days? Are there?
No.
Foot massages? I don't know. What do you?
No, not really. No, man. I mean, I would love to, but I feel like it's there's so many other things that are happening that with content and acting, and like my movie just premiered, so I have to go to a lot of those screenings. I'm doing content still. I'm doing brand collabs, so there's just a lot of
brand collabs.
Yeah, brand collabs. Yeah.
Let's say you speak like a marketing executive.
Yeah, really.
We got some brand collabs.
Yeah, some brand collabs. Yeah, yeah, just like different creators or different businesses that that align with my brand that we've been approached by that we're doing more of. So it's just busy.
It's first of all, congratulations. And by the way, I'm going to get to the movie as well. I didn't put that in the intro.
Oh, it's okay.
Actually, I was remiss in not putting
too
that
much,
in.
man.
By the way, if you get tired of this mug, there's this one.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm just making sure you know you have two here.
Yeah. Somehow the water is hotter than my coffee. That makes
They did bring extremely hot water for you. They thought you might need that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats. And I mean, I guess it must feel like a bit of a whirlwind, right?
Doing all these shows?
Your life.
My life. Oh.
Your life. I wasn't being melodramatic, was I? In the intro, it really has changed your life.
Oh,
in the last year.
Oh, for sure. I mean, not in a visibly drastic way, I don't think, but in terms of people taking me more seriously, I'd say so. Or it's a little bit more legitimized, I guess, because now people are like, oh wow, like Drake co-signs Neema, so more people take it seriously, especially with brands when they approach us. Now, like
well, for the brand collabs.
Yeah, the brand collabs. Yeah.
But also there's more people around you.
Yeah,
there's people.
I guess.
You're playing big theaters. You're doing big shows that I don't think you were doing 2 or 3 years ago. Were you?
Well, my first tour was about a couple of years, 3 years ago, where I was doing a couple of small theaters in those major cities I was in, but I only had like 11 dates last time. Now there's like, I don't know, almost 100 dates. So yeah, it's expanded for sure. But some places we're being surprised where we can't sell tickets, and it's surprising in a more of a, I guess, negative way, because we're like, I thought because we tripled the audience from the last time I went on tour. I'm a better comedian. I've done way more things with bigger, open for a bunch of comedians and whatnot. Did some cool collabs, and you'd think that you'd be able to sell more tickets at some of these cities. but it's actually it's been the opposite. Weirdly, we've canceled 3 shows on this tour that we never canceled anything before. So it's been actually harder, to be honest.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But then you've been playing much bigger shows in other places.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's not all bad. It's just some places I'm surprised by that it's not selling tickets.
Do you want? Should we name names? Was there?
Yeah, I don't mind
What
because
particular place has not been good to you?
we just had to cancel Halifax. It was my first time going, and there was like 20 tickets sold.
Well, it's your first time going.
Well, I know.
So you're not doing worse than the last time. You just never went there before.
Yeah, that's one of them. But I mean, like, but it's still the show's next week, and there's 20 tickets sold in a 600 seat venue.
Oh, right.
And it was run by a promoter and everything. And it's like I don't blame anyone. It's just more so we just overshot it, I guess. But Winnipeg, I had 2 shows in the same theater venue I did 3 years ago, where we oversold it. Couldn't sell. Had 10 tickets sold in one of the shows, and the other one was like half sold.
What an amazingly
a week before the show.
Amazingly candid person you are.
Given
the opportunity to trumpet how well you're doing,
no,
you're making the case that it's not actually going as well as it looks.
I agree. Things are going well. I'm not down.
Things are going very well.
Yeah,
things
they're
going very well
for sure. But I also want to be transparent and be like, well, this is the reality as well.
Right.
You know, because I don't care. I'm not here to impress anyone. I actually, you know what? I want people to feel bad for me for not selling these tickets. That's what I want. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, there are certain markets where I thought we could sell more tickets, but we just can't, and we had to just kind of take the L. You know, the loss. I'm going to ask you about the inflection point. This is this moment where Drake, shouted you out or made promoted you, etc. Yeah.
Are you tired of talking about that?
No, not at all.
You're not at some point where you're like, oh, people are asking me, Drake still. You're still appreciative of what happened.
Oh yeah, 100%. What I am tired of is people assuming, like, people come at me like, well, oh man, this guy's he's made it now. Like, look at him, he's traveling, and it's that Drake money. I'm like, bro, I'm losing money still. Right. Like, I'm in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt right now because we self-produced this whole tour that's all year. And we're just paying them back now. I'm not making any profit yet. Right. So that's maybe that part I'm a little bit annoyed by. But
he did. People don't there was a money element to him.
Yeah. He gave me $100K USD, and he did come.
You
through
burned
with
through that
for credit card loans. Yes, we burned through it in that way. Yeah, not like buying a Mercedes. I don't give a shit about that stuff at all.
You're not a material guy.
No, not at all.
You don't need You're not like a rapper.
Not at all. No, everything I'm wearing is I haven't paid for any of this.
How did you acquire this? People give it to you.
Yeah, like One Bone. Shout out to One Bone. To be honest, I'm not even trying to promote them. It's just they've been so nice and they're big fans. They're from Montreal.
Brand clap.
They just give me brand claps. They just give me just free clothes because they're fans and like I've helped them out before and I shout them out whenever I'm with them because I genuinely like their clothes. But it's like I only have like 3 shirts I wear all the time. But the money that we got from Drake, it's like. People are like, oh, yeah, he's going to blow it on this and parties. I'm like, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't even watch porn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I focus on my shit. Sorry, I feel like maybe this is saying too much. But, I'm just being real.
Why don't you watch porn?
Because it's toxic. I think it's such a negative thing, and it definitely affected my brain growing up.
Oh, you did watch it and you stopped?
Yeah.
What about drinking? The same sort of...
Drinking, I never was addicted to drinking, smoking weed.
You were addicted to porn?
Yeah. Just like many other children of immigrants. Mm-hmm. I know so many people who
children of immigrants.
Yeah.
You think we're disproportionately more into...
For sure, 100%.
Why do you think that
Because it's such a taboo topic in our cultures growing up that you turn to porn or other people in school. That's the only thing you can bond over to learn about sex growing up. But it's unrealistic standards of sex.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like it negatively impacted me for sure. And my mindset towards women and in general, but also towards... sex and all the anxiety that comes from it because immigrant parents too, not to like shit on my own parents or my mom specifically, but it comes from a good place. They have pure intentions because they want to protect their kids, right? From the darkness of the world. But in return, now when you get older, I have a joke about this in my tour set right now, actually. Funny enough, but like the reality of it is
About
like
which part of what you said?
everything I said.
About not watching porn?
No, not that specific, but
About your mom?
about my mom. Like
Yeah.
like growing up, the only way I learned about sex is like my mom before I left for a party. She's like, Neema, like in دخترها خرابن دست نزن, which means don't touch them, they're ruined. I'm like, are you crazy? Like I'm 12. Like how ruined can these kids be? But it's real.
She was saying that to you when you were 12?
I swear to God. And but
These
the thing
poor
is-
girls.
Oh, poor me. No, forget the girls.
Right.
Because it's funny, whatever. It's hilarious to joke about now, but like growing up, it was tough, and even to this day, it's carried on with me mentally. When I've ever been with women before, now it's like every time I kiss them or like I'm being romantic with someone, all I hear in the back of my head is my mom's voice. It's ridiculous. And like I'm not gonna spoil the joke, but there's a lot more to it.
Right.
But that's pretty much how I see it.
Right,
That's why I think porn is bad, because it's like, well, I have no other way of learning about it, because clearly from the jump, it's like everyone's dirty. This person has diseases, and it's like don't touch girls. It's like, well, how are you supposed to learn how to be with?
But your point was you don't. Sounds like you try not to do anything in excess. Hence,
That's
you
for
didn't
sure.
take the Drake money and
Yeah,
blow it
blow it
on
on
a night on the town with the Raptors.
No,
or
no,
something.
no.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. To be honest, people think that because they think, oh, this guy has followers, he's famous or whatever. I don't think I'm famous either. I
You
just
don't think you're famous?
No, I think I'm popular in certain areas.
What would it take for you to think you're famous? You got a huge following.
Yeah, you got to be global. You got to be like,
Ben Affleck? Is Ben Affleck famous?
Yeah, like
Wow.
in my head, famous is your A-list.
Oh.
I'm not A-list, so
Which
therefore
list are you?
I don't know, maybe like D or E, maybe. I don't know.
You're not D-list.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I
don't
think
know.
now you
I'm not
crossed
even
into
trying to-
modest.
I'm
now
not
you're
trying to
being
be modest. I'm genuinely just like I'm zooming out and objectively trying.
But
to
you know that there's a
observe it.
gazillion comedians
Yeah.
doing the Laugh Factory or comedy clubs or Yuck Yucks or whatever it is, and that can't do a world tour. That despite one or two dates not doing as well, doing the kind of thing you're doing really well, and that's hard in your business, and that speaks to you having some level of fame or following at least. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Like I'm not oblivious, and I'm not even trying to downplay it. It's more so just in the lens of like, regular people who don't know what it's like to be in this business. People see me and they think I'm famous because they don't have any other reference, which I don't. I actually understand that, and I allow people to think it because it's like I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not famous. Like screw you. Like I don't think that way at all. It's more so just I just try to be realistic about it, so I don't get in my head either, because it's very easy to get in your head about these things, especially when money comes in, fame, popularity.
You have to kind of. Do you feel like you have to practice keeping your feet on the ground, kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, being grounded, but it also helps having someone around you to kind of ground you as well. Like for me, my brother,
Your bro, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I feel like I definitely talked about this last time too, which I always talk about it because I do think it's important, is to have the right people around you in order to ground you and kind of keep you on earth. Because I know people who have it's gone to their heads and they have like 20,000 followers. I'm like, you're a nobody. I'm a nobody. It's like you don't need to get in your head about these things and think you're some big entity that you're not. I think it's noble to have a little bit of humility and understand that.
Part of the, by the way, another thing to keep you grounded: hot water. We recommend hot water to all the guests.
Shit.
Yeah, that's right
Should
there.
have told me this earlier.
In case you need it.
Damn.
See, grounded.
Hotter than coffee.
That's the temperature on the dial. Hotter than coffee.
Yeah. That's the name of my.
Is there a dial on a kettle?
That's the name of my next special. Hotter than coffee.
Hotter than coffee.
Yeah.
You really
featuring
are.
Jian Ghomeshi opening.
The Drake endorsement.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think made it so great, like it wasn't. I mean, to be fair, celebrities do endorse things or co-sign or whatever all the time. But something that made this feel so wholesome, like it just felt very organic. It was this really, 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 really famous Toronto guy, one of the biggest stars in the world, endorsing another Toronto guy. It felt so. I think that's why. I mean, as it was happening, I was watching the reaction, and you posted your own reaction and your family's reaction, and part of the attraction of it was not just like, yes, this is great, Neema, we love him. It was also, this just feels so good. It feels so wholesome. It feels so organic. Was it really that way? And did it completely blindside you, or did you have some sense this was going to happen?
It's a little bit of both. I had no idea I would actually win. Obviously, I did, but I had a hunch I was gonna win because, and I've told my friends before, my family. You know, usually as an artist, you have imposter syndrome. That's a common thing a lot of artists go through. Now, I don't think I fully have it at this point, but you know, there were many years where I'm like, should I have gotten this opportunity? Oh, that guy is much funnier than I am. Blah blah blah. So this whole Drake thing that happened when I actually won the money and I FaceTimed in, and it was a whole experience. It was amazing.
Sorry, we should probably explain how what was the thing you won.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was so Drake was doing a thing for Drizmas, Christmas, a Christmas giveaway called Drizmas, and there was 5 different giveaways. One was like for vacation for a family, 10 grand for the person trying to study or something, whatever. And then the 5th one was a Toronto artist giveaway for 100K USD.
Right.
And I actually didn't know about it until a bunch of people sent it to me that were just fans of mine. And they're like, yo, like, you should probably apply to this. Like, you're a Toronto artist. I was like, oh, I am a Toronto artist. And, you know, the money definitely could have helped a lot at the time. And so my brother and I looked at it. We're like, all right, screw it. Like, when you see things like that, you're like, I'm not going to win. Everyone always like, everyone's going to apply. Like, who am I to win? But we're like, whatever. Let's just try it. We sent an email why we think we deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And then we just waited. We watched the stream just like anyone else. We waited until 1:30 in the morning because that was the last giveaway they did on the stream from 9 to like 1:30. And then when he on the stream, he was like, all right, let's do the Toronto artist giveaway. I had a hunch. I was like, oh, I told my brother who was with me. I was like, yo, just record it just in case I win. And I don't know. I just felt it in me the whole time. I was like, I felt like I don't know. This is for me. Maybe it might be a little delusional, but it's like, you know, you have to have a little delusion sometimes for things to work out. And then you saw the video. You started reading the first line. I was like, oh my god, that's our email. And I was like, oh, like it started to set it. And I was like, oh, we actually won. And then that was the first time when I actually realized it was real and that we actually won this giveaway. That, oh, you know what? I deserve this shit. Because I never really told myself that ever in my career before that. But this was one of those first moments I was like, yeah, I do deserve it. You know, I've worked very hard and consistently for almost 10 years at this point, doing comedy, acting, content. And sometimes you need to tell yourself that to kind of keep you going, you know?
Yeah.
And it did. It really helped a lot. And he actually did come through with it. And the thing that bothers me is people online like, yo, did Drake's a phony, or Drake blah, blah, blah. Like, they're haters. And they're like, oh, did he even send you the money? And I with conviction, I'm like, yeah, he sent it fairly quickly as well. And he did follow through with what he said because he's a real one. Because he is. He is for the city. He's for his own people. And I respect him for that.
I was thinking how it's also very 21st century, right? Like just the way it's happening. It's in this online interface of, you know, you're watching somebody do this on a stream, and this bigger than life person who's one of the most streamed person in the world, or whatever he is.
The GOAT.
It's kind of, I was thinking if the metaphor for 50 or 100 years, it'd be like going on Carson. Like, it's like the old thing of, you know, if a comedian went on Johnny Carson, they were made. Yeah. If they did well, they were the next day. Everybody knows the guy, and they're getting brand endorsements. There's no real equivalent of that now. It's not like you go on Fallon or something and you get that similar boost. But this feels like something like that, like something that can change things overnight. What is the most memorable takeaway from that for you of what happened last year?
I think the biggest takeaway is this could have happened to anyone now. Because back in the day with Johnny Carson and those late night shows, it's like you had to actually go out of your way to audition in front of people, and then it's like word of mouth, and they would have to tell this person, all right, now you can come and do the segment, blah blah blah. there were a lot more steps involved. Now with content online, it could have been anyone, but I happen to be the one to just continue posting content from years back. I'm from Toronto, and I stayed consistent. I kept going with it, kept taking shots. It's all about the reps, and then eventually you get to a point where you find your voice, you start doing well, and then you just double down, and then that's how I got here. So
when you talk about the confidence that you got, I mean, you didn't put it that way, but you said when this happened, I was like, wait a minute, yeah, I do deserve this. I worked really hard, etc. Does that come from? I mean, that goes a long way, I guess, in undoing the imposter syndrome too, right? So
yeah,
I deserve to be here. Does that come from the validation of Drake saying, hey, this guy's good? Or does it come from all the people that gather around and go, yes, Neema deserves this? Where does that come from?
I think it's a bit of everything. It's a bit of both of, the fans over years kind of, telling me, messaging me here and there. I get messages all the time like, oh man, throughout the pandemic you saved me, or I was in the hospital for 6 months and your videos were the only things that got me through my sickness or whatever. Like my so and so passed away recently, and the only thing that kept his spirits up before he died was your videos, like stuff like that. So it got me.
Where'd you go there?
Emotional there.
What are you thinking about?
Sorry. Try to keep it together here.
Well, what is it you're thinking about?
So hot water is great. It I don't know if anyone's ever cried on here before, but
lots of people have.
Nice. So I'm not special? That's great. Unbelievable.
You're definitely special.
No, I'm kidding.
But I am curious why you got emotional. I want to know.
Well, a lot of it comes from the imposter syndrome I was talking about. It helps to go away when you get messages like that, because that's the validation. That's the validation that I actually care about. Is sorry, I don't know what's hitting me.
Well, it makes sense. That I appreciate that you're emotional about this, because you're talking about and you've just been talking about how money and fancy cars or whatever like that don't validate you, and this is an insight into your heart. You're telling me that, we can see it. What's genuinely moving you is the fact that you have the ability to move others.
Thanks. Yeah. God damn, I didn't think I was gonna cry like this, but sorry. I'm a mess.
You're not a mess. You're just emoting is actually a positive.
Yeah, emoting is a good word. Yeah. So what I was saying is, the validation you get from the fans and people, that's what moves me. That's what keeps me going, is because that also shows that I'm doing this for the right reasons, because I care about what I'm doing and the creative outlet I have, but I also care about what people think, not in the way of like, oh, I hope they like me, or I hope they think I'm funny. I care about what people think, in that I'm doing the right thing that's right for me, and it's positively impacting others. That's what I care about.
Today's episode of Roqe is brought to you with the support of Famluxy. Famluxy is a celebration of art, elegance, and individuality, an online boutique specializing in limited edition handcrafted accessories. Each piece is thoughtfully designed as a wearable work of art, reflecting a unique blend of creativity and personal expression. Beyond being a brand, Famluxy serves as a platform for showcasing the talents of emerging artists, with a presence at prestigious events such as Fashion Art Toronto, Mona Niku Gallery in California, New York Fashion Week, and Miami Swim Week. Famluxy continues to shine on international stages. It invites you into a world where craftsmanship meets style and every accessory tells a story. Check out famluxy.com.
Because I do feel like it is my duty to do that with what I do. I feel like
Your duty.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like I have a duty to make people laugh. But more than that, my duty, I feel intuitively inside me, I always felt like, people, in a way, people, some people, or not everyone, but some people really need me, but not me specifically. Like, there's many other people like me that people need. And what I mean by that is, there are people out there that are gurus or whatever, like, major philosophers or doctors that people need to go to, for assistance on whether it's medical or spiritual or whatnot. And I feel like I'm one of those people. That might sound delusional, but I feel like
it's not delusional because people are telling you you're playing that role in their lives.
Right, exactly. And that's stuff I believe more than anything, because I'm like, why would someone lie about that, right? And so that's why I feel like I speak to specific people, and those specific people need someone like me to speak the thoughts that they have, but aren't necessarily comfortable.
Do you have a
doing.
person in your life that played that role for you, or do you? It's somebody you might not know them, some kind of icon or somebody who you can.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have specific people I really look up to that I've always cherished their mindset that drives me in my own career, in my own life, like.
But that gets you through a tough time.
Yeah,
like,
100%. Yeah. It's I almost like turn to them when I feel like I need some kind of change in my mind or in my life, with the path I'm going. And someone like, for example, like Kobe Bryant is one of those people for me from a young age. He has nothing to do with comedy, but his ability to work so hard in his own craft and his mindset and how he shows up and does what he does to excel in his craft. That's what drove me to see the same way for my own craft. And so I turned to him, what's left of him, obviously, with videos online. I have his book and everything like that. I turn to those things when I need the assistance for certain things, or like someone like David Goggins, who need a little boost to kind of kick your ass and be like, all right, get up and start moving, move your body, whatever. Like, there's certain things that I feel like people need to turn to elevate their mood in that moment, or their mindset in that moment, or some inspiration. And I feel like I have
when people say that you're playing this role in their life, you got me through a difficult medical time, etc. Is it what do you think it is that you're doing that's getting them through, that's helping them, albeit from afar? I mean, these are not people you're in touch with right on the phone or something like that. This is somebody's just watching your content. What do you think it is that they're reacting to?
It's just the laughter. It's the base of it is the laughter, but beyond that, it's the relatability that also entices them to laugh as well. I feel like laughter is it's cliche, but laughter is the best medicine, and I feel like that's what that is. And it's also, on top of that, relatable. I feel like I speak on things comedically that are touching people in a relatable way, where they're like, oh, well, my mom's like that, my dad's like that, my immigrant parents are like that, I do this, and that's stuff that I feel like I'm strong in doing and showing. And so I feel like that's why it's my duty to kind of keep showcasing that.
When the stuff with Drake happened, the money, the attention, all of a sudden you're getting a lot of I mean, you're following what like meteorically grew, and you're getting all kinds of calls. As you say, from different brands and stuff. What was the conversation with you and your brother? What was how the thing is about you that people really need to know? I mean, if there's one thing I would say that people need to know is you really have diligently. When I was saying that introduction, gig by gig, TikTok by TikTok. I mean, you set your goal. One great thing about you is you always knew what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. You know, you weren't. At least I haven't seen you sort of go, well, I could be a chef, but it's like this is what you want to do, and you're very fortunate to have this brother who's in your partner in crime doing this, and you've worked so diligently that it's almost like I'd be worried that if there's some disruption, even a really positive one, that it would knock you off your path. What was the conversation that you guys had after that to say, hey, we can't let this fuck things up, we're on a path here?
Oh, it was incredibly easy because we both know what we value and what we're working towards. And when you have that vision, nothing can get in the way. So we both value freedom. And in order to get freedom, you need to work hard to make a lot of money to do that. So how do you save money or make money is by not blowing it on dumb shit and investing back into the brand. And so that's the baseline is just keep investing back into yourself and the brand.
What does freedom mean to you?
Like, what do you mean? Like in terms of?
You said we value freedom.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
Just the freedom to do things that we're already doing, that we enjoy doing, that we love, just on a higher scale and faster, more of it. So it's like if I make money, I can hire more people to help me do the thing I'm already doing,
right,
just on a higher scale.
How do you, when your content is, some of it is hyper local, like some of it is like the guy from Don Mills in Eglinton,
right.
but some of it is about being Canadian. Some of it was being Iranian, Iranian-Canadian. Mm-hmm. How do you scale that when your audience is suddenly becoming international and you're doing, as you are right now, a world tour? You would have learned a little bit about this when you went to Australia for that year, or what was it, a couple of years?
No, it was 10 months.
10 months, yeah. Okay. How do you cope with that? That whether the person in San Diego or in Europe somewhere is going to understand the caricature, the hockey playing caricature that you're doing about a Toronto guy or even the Iranian guy background, etc.
I don't really overthink those things. I just do whatever I think is funny. And then if people like it, they like it. And then eventually along the line, I'm like, all right, well, how can I expand? You get to a point, but first you need to hone the things you're best at, just naturally increase those skills, master it, have people really like those characters or bits or jokes or whatever you're doing. And then from there you can expand. I think the problem is when people stretch themselves too thin from the start, that you never really find what works. But for me, I'm like, let me just lock in on a few things that I think would be really good, that I am strong in, and that's it. And then just go from there. And
so you don't think I have to develop some sort of international set now? I can't just be Neema the Canadian guy.
Yeah, like, and in some ways, yeah, like, but like not. I don't see it as, let me try to cater to everyone. I just think, okay, well, if I have certain fans in this part of the world, when I go and I do perform in those cities, then I'm like, off the top, I'll maybe do some jokes about the city I'm in or the type of people I'm performing in front of. But generally speaking, the whole set is about me and my life and what I think is funny. And if people are fans, that's great. If they don't get it or if they're not, then I'm not gonna.
This is a headlining tour, right?
Yeah. It's my own tour.
So that's different from playing on a bill with
other comedians,
Howie Mandel or Russell Peters.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
and it's a lot more pressure. I would think.
Sure,
you got to carry the show.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, but the thing is, people say pressure and it has a negative connotation. I think pressure is good. It keeps me on my toes and it pushes me to make sure that the performance I'm about to do is the best I can do and leave it all out on the table. So when I leave the venue and the fans leave the venue, they walk away being like, oh wow, like that was a show. And even if they didn't laugh as much as I wanted them to, at least they can't take away the fact that I came up and I came and I showed up 100%. I put out my 100% effort into this performance. That's what I care about more, actually, than make people laugh. Is like
how critical
much,
are you of yourself?
I'm pretty critical. Like
if the show, if it doesn't feel like a 6-0 win, do you wait for the next gig to
redeem yourself?
Yeah,
that's just a natural comedian thing, a comic thing. Is it's like if it didn't go perfectly the way you think it went, then you're like, man, I gotta do better next time. But I don't think that's bad. I don't really. It's never detrimental for me. Even if I bomb, which I've bombed plenty of times, especially in Australia, I think it's a good thing.
Why, especially in Australia?
Well, that's when I was testing out my new material for this tour now, and it's like when you're doing new material and you're trying new stuff out, you're bound to bomb most of the time, at least at the beginning. But yeah, bombed the time. But yeah, I'm. It's never detrimental for me. Like even if I did okay or it wasn't the way I went. Once again, because I come with energy and I genuinely try every time the same way, I can only control what I can control. I can control how people react. So that's all I care about is what am I doing to be the best? And then if people don't like it, it's not meant to be. Maybe it's not for me. I mean, it's not for them.
Besides the not drinking, not smoking, not watching porn, You've been on a health regimen for the last couple of years. It feels like it started in Australia. I'm not sure.
A little bit, yeah. But I've always been trying to work on my health.
But you're doing great. I mean, you just ran a half marathon
last year.
And how does that affect your material? You know the old joke or the old thing where they say like it's like
weight,
Seth Rogen got skinny and he's not funny anymore.
Right.
Like that kind of
No, it's a classic. Yeah, I mean. The thing is, that only applies if you're not working on, elevating your game. If I just want to mail it in, and be the fat guy, just doing fat jokes, you're not gonna get far. And I don't want to be that. I want to be much bigger. I want to be a global star. Like I want to be able to hit as many people as possible with the funniest jokes. So I'm not attaching it to me being fat. I don't care about that. Actually, because I also realized at some point, if I'm not healthy as a human, how am I going to perform as 100% as a performer? Right?
Man, yeah.
So that's the struggle I've always struggled with my whole life is food addiction as well. I'm just addicted to everything, ain't you? No, but I think food addiction is one of the toughest things to beat because you have to eat food every day. You don't have to do heroin every day.
Right.
So that's always been a struggle for me. I've always been trying to lose weight and get healthier. Now, like my weight's fluctuated here and there pretty much my whole life. I think I'm obviously doing much better than I was last year and the year before. But at the very least, I know my habits are much better than it ever was. I think that's a measure of health is how well your habits are doing.
Are you happy when you're on tour?
Yeah. Of course, I'm tired, but it's the most rewarding thing. It's the most fun.
It is.
Yeah.
You prefer it. There's people who are like, oh, I gotta fucking go on tour.
No.
You love it.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. What's not to like? I'm flying to different cities I've never been to or I've been to before, but I really like meeting new people, just exploring a city, having the food that's there, and then meeting new fans that are friends of mine from a different part of the world or country or city, and just making people laugh.
Do you love being on stage?
Yeah, it's.
Is that the best hour of the day or hour and a half of the day?
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, yeah, there are other great moments for sure in my day too. But yeah, like if I had to choose, I'd be like, yeah, well, if I can go on stage for an hour or hour and a bit and make people laugh every day and I don't have to worry about anything else, like that's the dream come true.
We talked earlier about being like accessible as a person. You don't feel like you're a different character on stage than you are like right now.
No, this is actually.
Is that by intent? Is that or is it just the way it's worked out?
It's by intent, as on top of just the way it naturally has worked out. But the thing is, when you do stand up, it's different from just having a conversation. because it's a performance. Now the trick is, you know, a lot of comedians when they're starting out or they're trying to find their voice throughout the first few years, is they try to emulate their main voice that's off stage or off camera. But it's actually tough. It takes years to kind of acquire that. Now the difference between me now and 3 years ago when the last tour I was doing is very distinct. The last tour I did, the material I was doing on stage is very on brand to me as a person, but the way I was delivering the jokes was very performative still. This is a performance, and it's not Neema. It's not Neema Nazari like just hanging out with his friends.
Right.
It's Neema Naz like on stage like performing the jokes, as opposed to now I'm way more myself on stage, like you'd see right now. You know, I'm more so just saying the jokes as me, not trying to perform the jokes. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's more natural.
And does that feels liberating? I guess?
It's the best because I don't feel like I'm faking it.
There's so many guys who are really different off stage.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I mean, some of them famously, it's not a bad thing that they were different. I remember interviewing Gilbert Gottfried, and it was you're that guy who's like crazy on stage, or
sure.
you know. But
that's different though.
That is different.
Because some people have different styles, right? It's an act. It's like it's a character almost. I don't think I have a character on stage. Funny enough, I'm doing different characters by doing different accents and jokes like that. But my style on stage is just being me, in my living room, telling jokes to my Persian family, just on stage.
Tell me about the acting. You were in The Boys. I saw you in that, and then there's a film called Please After You. Which you're like a lead character in, a guy named Omid that's like
my mother's name.
Tell me about that. I mean, is that a new path for you, or does that feel like the same part of what you're already doing?
No, it's definitely a part of what I'm already doing. I'd like to do more of it. It's just the acting industry is much more tedious than the comedy world because, you know, you can't really create your own opportunities. You can, but you need a lot more money and resources. But if you're just trying to act and be submitted into roles, you got to do auditions. And obviously, like, auditions, it's notorious for being tedious, and a lot of actors, you know, you're getting rejected like 1,000 times before you get a role, for the most part. And so, yeah, I've
still less scary than stand-up comedy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, yeah, for me,
you're pretty naked on stage when you're telling new jokes and trying to figure it.
That sucks for sure, especially when you're eating it on stage. It sucks, but you know, it's exhilarating. But auditioning and doing self tapes, like, it's not as fun for me. But I prefer just to act.
So, what was the experience of this film?
It was great,
and it's especially interesting because I haven't gotten to see the film. I just saw the trailer.
Oh, nice.
But you're playing a guy who's just come from Iran.
Yeah.
So you've got like a heavy accent, and did you use were you thinking, were you channeling someone when you were doing that?
Yeah, my mom, yeah. Amongst, you know, a few other uncles, you know, just like a mixture of everyone. But yeah,
right.
It's exactly, my Persian accent or character I do online is pretty much based off my mom too.
Your poor mom is.
My poor mom is just,
she's the muse for everything. The cab driver. It's all like that.
She loves it. No, but it came very natural to me, and that was my first ever pretty much real role on a big screen.
It's a lead role.
Yeah, and people seem to love it. They like I didn't know how the reactions would be, but everyone after they've seen it, they're like, "Oh, it doesn't seem like it's your first role." So there's a good takeaway from that.
And that's what you want to do more of that. It sounds like.
Yeah, 100%. Because I want to do it all. Like, my dream is to just act in movies all day, tour the world doing stand up, making content that's funny. That's all I care about. I just want to perform. I just want to be on camera. I want to be the star. I want to be the main face of everything. I don't know. I feel like people say main main character energy or syndrome or whatever it's called. I feel that way. I don't know. I feel like I have star power. I don't know.
You feel like you have star power and you want star power.
Yeah, I want. Yeah, I feel like I don't want
to
say.
I actually really appreciate that you're not shy about saying that.
Yeah, well,
you're not being modest about it. Just I want to be a massive star.
Yeah, well, because you have to put those into existence. in order to actually achieve it. And also, that's why I feel like I try to have a balance. Like earlier, I was being more modest about certain things, but this stuff I really believe in. I do believe I will be a star because I feel like I have that potential. I have a look for it. I think I have versatility in my acting. I have different talents I could use.
Are you hard on yourself? Well, this is interesting because when we started, I was trying to convince you that you're doing well.
Yeah.
You're like, well, a couple of the shows in Winnipeg, we it's like, dude, you're in a whole other place than you were a year and a half ago, or 3 years ago, the first time we did the interview. Do you look back and are you critical of your path? Do you look back and go, if I had known, I would have told Neema back in 2020, do this. Or are you okay with the way you've led yourself to where you are now?
Oh yeah, I don't care. I'm okay with how the path is going. I trust the process. Like I said before, like I can only control what I can control. The rest will come, and I believe that. So as long as I stay true to who I am, do the things that got me here in the first place on this scale, eventually it'll get me to a higher scale.
And you believe that's going to happen?
Yeah, it could not, but I'm okay with it too. Like I'm okay with my thought. That I care more about how I think about it rather than what happens. I don't care about the results.
So put together draw the link for me between the guy who wants to be the big star and the guy for whom the most important thing is moving somebody so much so that they got through a difficult time in their life because they were watching or listening to you.
Well, I think in order to my goal is to become a star because I think it'll just be cool and it'll be fun, and I get to live just a sick life. I don't know, it's just fun. I get to do things I love every day, and I don't have to worry about finances or whatever it is. But on top of that, the bigger I get, and the more I get to do what I'm doing now, I get to move more people. I get to impact more people.
But I'm going to make an argument to you right now that you're never going to feel. Like, I think it's a fallacy maybe someone like Seinfeld can go, I'm a big star, I made it, now I can relax or something like that. But I don't think so. He's still out there trying to do new things and get new gigs and stuff like that. So, I mean, the fact that you're shooting for something that you think is going to be this utopian kind of, I'll have freedom, it'll be easy. I wonder if you'll ever get there because you're an ambitious guy. And somebody could look at you now and make a credible case that you are a star. You got there. You're already there. You're already doing things that people dream of, right?
For sure.
But you said you don't even think you are. You don't think you're a celebrity. You don't think you're a star. You called yourself D-list earlier. This was the same conversation. But it's within the last hour.
I agree.
Yeah.
Those are all labels, though.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I've made it. My
okay,
in
you
my
do.
heart.
All right.
But I don't feel like I'm Brad Pitt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just objectively the truth. I'm not oblivious like that. For me, making it is the process. So I already feel like I've made it in that way, right?
Yeah.
But I still want to be a star. Like, I think both can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I get to just do more of it.
Who's a star that you like? Who? What's the benchmark?
Am I aiming for?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
So you want to be short.
Yeah. And black.
Not that there's anything wrong with.
Yeah. No. Because
you want to tell homophobic jokes.
Yeah, 100%.
Your tweets.
Misogynistic jokes, trans jokes, all that. That's the only things I want to focus on. Which I actually do have in my set now.
Right.
But it's all pure intentions. It's good intentions.
Yeah.
Everything's pure. No one's safe in my sets. No, the reason why I say Kevin Hart so confidently too is I don't even think he's the funniest guy in the world. Like,
no, but he's a huge industry.
Yeah, massive.
Guy's done everything. Yeah,
he's done everything, and that's why I respect
success.
him. I love him for that reason. Is because even though everyone makes the argument, oh, Kevin Hart's not that funny or blah blah blah. I'm like, who are you to talk? Like, look at what he's doing. Look at what you're doing. I'm like, that's why I don't like when people talk shit about people in that position. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Nothing. You're sitting there complaining. Well, I see that, I'm like, oh man, I want to be that way, because look what he's doing. He's busy. He has a family, which are all great things to have. You know, he has a radio show. He's a producer. He's an actor, comedian. Has his boys touring with him. Everyone. That's the best life, in my opinion. And yeah, so that's something I like to aim for. Might not happen exactly the same way that he's doing it, but that's this whole point is like, it's not going to be the same. You create your own path.
You still in your 20s?
No, I just turned 30.
Just
a few months ago.
Happy birthday, or happy 30s.
November, but yeah, thanks.
How does that feel?
Great. I feel better than ever.
Aren't you getting a little old? Doesn't feel
no.
Maybe just a little.
So young. So young.
You are young.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, man. The first time that we had a big conversation on the show, a lot of people were moved by you talking about your mental health, by opening up about that, and anxiety and things you faced, and being very real about it. How's that going? That part of your world?
You trying to make me cry again?
No. You've cried enough.
Actually, I'd prefer it if you didn't cry more. We have to get going. I have another interview. No, I mean, it's good. You know, I feel like it's never ending, the process of working on your mental health. You're always improving. You're always trying to improve it, right? You're always trying to work on it, which I think is important. If you just let go, then this defeats the purpose. But it's the way you see it, I think, that matters. The way you handle it that matters as you get older. So I don't know what the answer is. I just think that's what.
Do you feel like you're in a healthy place in terms of, in contrast to where you were a few years ago?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm definitely a much more efficient person in terms of my work, with health wise. Even though sometimes it's tough and it goes up and down my weight. Especially being on the road is tough.
Yeah.
So hard to eat. Eat clean.
Yeah.
Eat good,
and playing shows, and you're done. It's like 2 a.m, and you're.
That's what I'm saying. The timing
hungry
sucks.
And
timing sucks. Yeah, sometimes. Or like you're always traveling. You're in and out. It's planes, Ubers, ferries. I gotta swim over borders. You're inflamed. I don't know. It's tough, but
you're inflamed.
Inflammation, from like the plane and everything. I don't know, so much travel.
I wasn't sure what you were
alluding to. Not gluten. Not from bread.
Do you eat the nuts on the plane?
Sometimes.
They come by with the nuts.
I don't usually.
I really want those nuts, but then you land and you feel bloated.
You feel like ass. Yeah. I'm always bloated. No, but I think it's regardless of that. I think it's how you handle certain situations, and I feel like I've gotten better at that. I've gotten better at knowing myself more to the point where, if I feel like I'm feeling a certain way, I know how to deal with it better. If that makes sense. Like, I go to therapy, and I don't know.
Also hard on the road.
Yeah. But I still.
You do it remotely.
Remotely, yeah. Not that often, but yeah, I try. And I think I think everyone needs therapy, but for different reasons. But yeah, other than that, I think it's decent. I'm still anxious. I'm a very anxious person naturally, but once again, it comes from my mom for sure. And I don't blame her because I think she's a bad person.
Can anyone else in your family take responsibility for anything?
Not for this specific thing. The anxiety I know comes from my mom. She's fear mongering my whole life. Everything's bad for you. This is the worst case scenario. I've done skits on this. You've probably seen it online. I leave the house. Oh, don't drive here. There's all these police will catch you if you drive here. There's accident over there. Make sure you don't close your door. There are people break your window. Don't go in this store. There was a stabbing there. Don't go. I'm like, bro, can I live? I'll figure it out myself. You don't need to fear monger when I'm about to leave.
There's
the
one
door.
you did a video about that where you're about to leave and she keeps stopping you and going, where are you going?
Literally, exactly. There's no exaggeration.
Did you take she's like, you have to take a whole suitcase of
That's
stuff?
a different video, but that's a different one for traveling. But yeah, I did another one where it's worst case scenarios. It's like, I don't know, handling a knife, don't cut your finger. You're going to. It's a knife. Oh, really? It's a knife. I know how it works. But like that's the thing. But and I don't actually blame her because she probably learned that from her.
Totally. I mean, you're channeling a lot of Persian moms right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very common immigrant mom thing, in my opinion. So it's we can laugh about it, but nonetheless. The reality is, at the
age of 12, you were not allowed to date girls because
I still
they
can't.
maybe.
No, it's still like at 30. It's like why am I still anxious about touching a girl? Like, or it's like, what is gonna happen? It's like I feel like if I'm pregnant with someone, it's like a 16 and pregnant. I'm like, bro, I'm 30. It's like, why am I thinking the most extreme examples at 30? But it's all the years of conditioning. Of that thought process from immigrant parents that it's like it's almost the part a lot of people don't like to talk about as much.
Yes.
But it's true. It's the truth. I deal with it every day. I still am very anxious in some parts of my life, mostly with the sexual side, and mostly the just that.
You can't just throw that out there at the end of the interview. Today's episode of Roqe is brought to you with the support of Tika. Tika is a results-driven platform offering telecom solutions, lead generation, and digital marketing for businesses that want to grow and stand out. Tika helps businesses grow by making it easier to connect with people. They provide business phone services, SMS marketing, advertising tools, and creative content to help companies get noticed and bring in more customers, whether they're small local shops or growing brands. Think about, for example, how you could promote your business if your info is being sent by text into people's pockets. Tika is all about helping you reach more people simply and effectively. At its core, Tika is a customer-generating machine. Thanks again to Tika. You're anxious with which part of the sexual side?
Well, just everything with anything that has to do with romance, love, sex, relationships.
No girlfriend?
No. Well, yeah. Like I recently I have a relationship now.
Okay.
Just it's fairly new, but even within that, it's like
you're anxious around the sex.
Yeah, all of it. Like that's why I can't be a hookup guy. There's a lot of guys in this world in this society now that it's like girls too, but. It's like they're just comfortable matching with someone on Tinder and going and hooking up with them, I'm like, I can't do that. Like, how much stress? Because I've done it.
Yeah, but now that you're with someone that you like enough to say that she's your girlfriend,
it's easier. It's more calming. And
can
peaceful.
you not say to her, "I have some
100%
anxieties around this. Help me out with the
Yeah, I've talked about it. We actually did talk about it, and it's like, I once again, it's like still tough.
And she said, "I'm going back to Brad."
You know what? Maybe I shouldn't be with a Persian guy because this fucking.
What is her background?
Italian.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
she met your mom?
No, not yet. No, okay. It's too early.
Not that hard,
yeah. But I don't know.
It's only been 2 yeyears.
It's only been 7 years. Sorry. But there is truth behind
that. I know.
I know a lot of people close to me. I'm not gonna name them, but they've gone 1 year, 2 years without even mentioning to their parents that they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Because what do they think is going to happen? The worst case scenario. Oh my God! Like, oh, be careful of this or what? It's like it's always the first thing.
Well, there's a number of fraught things. Let me list them for you. One of them is that I'm always afraid because my mom's always been right about. They have the antenna, right?
Whatever.
So if the girl's not right for you, they know. And if you really like someone, you're like, well, what if I bring this person? And my mom will be like, she's nice, and you're like, oh,
here we go. What is it now? I don't know. The way she touched her hair, I think very dirty.
Did she? Well, it's not always that. It's a little more subtle.
No, it's not.
In the case of my mother, it's like I saw that she was wearing short shorts. It's like that, and then it's like, oh, okay, so she's not. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
You know what's crazy? Sorry. You know what's crazy is I can go on and on about this. Because I've had girlfriends in the past, like
why are you doing this?
Because I don't think it was real. It was just like we were together, but we saw each other. Like,
how did these girlfriends feel about this? We were a girlfriend.
Yeah, well, we're not together anymore, so clearly it didn't work.
Right.
We broke up for different. I don't want to keep doing this now.
Right.
We broke up for different reasons. No more air quotes. Too much Gary Vee. We broke up for different reasons before. I've only had 2 relationships. Both of them were 2 months long, but I saw them like 10 months in those 2 months. Sorry, 10 days in those 2 months.
Okay.
And the weird part is the last one I was with, the girl I was with, I brought her home. She met my parents, and my parents loved her, and like they were acting like it's normal, or
What's normal?
like having a girlfriend, all these things, and it's cool all of a sudden. And I'm like, well, what about all the years of
Trauma,
fear mongering me, fear porn in my head, thinking every girl's dirty, they all have AIDS, everyone's gross.
What is this every girl's dirty thing?
I don't know. It's a real thing though.
It's not a real thing.
It is a real thing.
No, but it's not a real thing.
No,
it's a real
not,
thing. But
it's a real mentality.
Yeah,
that my mom at least has had. Sorry, getting super passionate about this. And
so the girl now hasn't hit 2 months yet.
1 month. It's been 1
Okay,
month.
so you got 1 month to go before you find out if this is.
Well, yeah. I don't know. The thing is, that now you get to a point where you get in your head now because you're like, well, based off the last times, it's like I don't know what's gonna happen. It's like how do you?
Well, no.
It's
no.
that.
Listen,
Well, that's the problem. Is
younger bro, you can now maybe this person's different from anybody you've ever met.
Oh, yeah, she's great. I'm just
and
saying.
so it could be something completely. It could surprise you
for sure, and I want that.
It's the Drake prize of girlfriends that you've had.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm hoping, and so, but that's the thing though is we were talking about mental health and anxiety before. There's still that anxiety of, oh man, like what are my parents gonna think, or not even that. It's like, what are the implications when I start to become more intimate with this person?
Well, see, okay. What do you mean? What are the implications?
It's like the whole fear like the anxiety that comes in your head.
See, that I was going to say. The list was the first one is that the mom has the antenna and doesn't approve.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
care
even
about
worse
that.
if she does approve, because then you've got the pressure of like, I haven't seen Jenny lately.
Yeah,
Are you still? Well, mom, we broke up like last year.
Right.
And,
2 years ago. Yeah. So I don't know. There's just a lot to it, but
it's not easy being you.
it's not easy. No.
No.
The thing is, I actually am a lover boy. I want love, and I don't care about the hookups. It's nice in what is it called? What's the word? God damn it.
Retrospect.
No. The idea of hooking up and like having sex
in a fantasy,
the fantasy whatever of like being single and you're hooking up with different people. It's cool in your mind, but in reality, it's not. It's not fulfilling.
Right.
You're gonna be anxious about it. There's been moments where I have hooked up. I don't know why it's too much information, but I have hooked up.
It's too late. Keep going.
I've been with women where we've had like not a one night stand, but it's like I've known them for like maybe a
2-night stand,
a couple of nights,
yes,
a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. There's some familiarity, and then you do the deed, and then for a month after,
you put it so romantically,
but because it wasn't romantic.
Okay,
it was not romantic.
And then what you were gonna say?
And then for a month after, I'm paralyzed of the thought of that something went wrong. I didn't enjoy it at all, and now I'm suffering in my own head.
Meaning you're worried that she didn't enjoy it.
No,
You're worried that you didn't enjoy it.
No, I'm not even worried about that.
Something went wrong in one way.
No, I'm anxious about the thought of
Oh, it's hurt the relationships.
No.
I'm out of options.
It's the anxiety that I'm suffering in my own brain that maybe she has an STD or that I got her pregnant.
Women are dirty thing.
Yeah,
dude, you need to get
you
that. We got to stop that. That's
you
enough
don't
of
think
that.
I want to stop it? But I'm saying this stems from childhood, and I'm not oblivious to it. That's what I'm saying.
Can you not? Maybe once you have a regular partner, you can get them tested.
No,
and you can look at the
sure.
information and feel good that everything's, and they'll do the same with you, and then you'll feel good.
Yeah, that's not actually the issue when I'm with someone in a relationship.
You were talking about the 2-night.
I'm talking about just like anything.
That's why it's fraud. Absolutely, sure.
Yeah, that part sucks. But then now the anxiety comes with the other thing of pregnancy. It's like now I feel like I'm 16 and I shouldn't get someone pregnant.
Well,
so
you shouldn't
it's like
get
constant fucking anxiety.
Can you not use birth control?
Well, I mean,
that's also anxiety inducing.
Yeah, well, also I don't like I feel like a lot of women who do that. I think it really fucks up with their hormones, which I don't know.
You can use birth control.
I don't. No, you can't.
You can't wear a condom.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do that.
Okay,
I'm just saying, like, well, you can also get your your
You
things
can get your tubes
You can
tied,
get them
snipped or whatever
But I don't
it is.
want to
Yeah.
do that. I don't know. I'm
No.
I'm
Yeah.
30. But anyway, so that's my anxiety. Everyone knows about my anxiety.
We could. You're gonna have a very
Can we go
transparent
back to
dating
making me
life from
cry?
now
Can you
on.
make me cry now again so we can end off on a high note? Jesus Christ. I said too much. See, this is what happens when I'm not crying or emotional. I just talk way too much.
The tour. Where are we? Before we end off, where are
The
we going?
anxiety tour starts next week.
Don't stop talking about that. We'll avoid emotion, sex. Just talk about the dates. Where are you excited to be
You know
going
what's
to?
funny? Last thing I'll say about that. The funniest part is most of my set is about this. In my tour set.
Well, it should be.
Talk about
It's
it.
very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Yeah, my tour continues.
It's not just a comedic device, is it? I mean, you're dating 4 different people right now, and you're very confident in bed. This is just the Neema character.
Hey, man, I said in confidence off camera. You can't say this on camera. Yeah, I got a bunch of dates. My Canadian leg of the tour ends August 9th. My tour finale is in Toronto at Danforth Music Hall.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited for that. That one sold out really fast.
Yeah.
We added a second show, and that one's close to filling up.
That's
now.
what I'm talking about. That's
it's
huge.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's my main market, so I expect it to go that way.
And then where are you excited about going in the world?
Oh, man, we're doing a lot of firsts. I'm doing all of Europe in September. So the entire month I'm in.
All of Europe.
Yeah, like most of it, yeah.
Wow.
All the major cities I'm doing shows in. Like,
Wow.
not all of them, but, most of them, a lot of them. Like UK, I'm doing a bunch of stuff there. London is my biggest show. Leicester Square Theatre, September
Nice.
13th. I'm really excited for that. A lot of fans in London, so I'm pretty excited. And then, Berlin, Vienna, Prague, like just all over. Amsterdam. Yeah, just going all over. And then a bunch of U.S. dates. I'm doing the most U.S. dates I've ever done. Pretty much from October 1st until mid-November. And then Australia and New Zealand, end of November.
Amazing.
So
Great to see you, man. Congrats on all the success and
Thanks.
so far, and the way it's growing, and your ongoing focus. It's amazing. You're plugging away. I'm really proud of you. I know so many people who are, and
Thank you.
who really appreciate you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, and I've always loved what you do. So and you're the best interviewer I've ever had too. So
You don't have to say that.
no, I have to actually, because otherwise I have anxiety. That you don't think I think that of you.
Thank you, buddy.
No, I
Cheers.
genuinely mean it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank
So.
you. Thanks again to Neema Nause. He really is Nause, isn't he? What a nice guy. Always a pleasure to have him here. And congratulations again to Neema and his brother and his team for all the success they're having. Wonderful to have them here and to see the growing empire they are building. This is full time for Roqe for today. Thanks to the amazing team who put this show together and keep Roqe going all the time. Savvy Roham. Some people just call him Roham around here. Savvy Roham. Super Parisa, Super P, Tina, the photo and video queen, and Charming Kimia, the CK. Special thanks to Smart Pega, Talented Anahita, Methodical Kabe, and the Rising Keon, TRK, for your help. Thank you to all of you out there for supporting us and sharing our content. Please subscribe if you have not done so already. Find the show on Instagram at Roqe Media, also on Telegram and YouTube, always at Roqe Media. You can find me on Instagram at Jian Ghomeshi. And as ever, do take care. And as we say, Mizunbashi.